Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the 214 Sports Show, your home of everything DFW Sports, your home for fans of the World Series champion. Can't believe I'm saying it. World Series champion. Nothing you can do about it. The World Series champion, Texas Rangers. How about that? I can't believe it. I'm Joseph Duffy. I'm alongside Courtney Machani and TJ Krylowitz. Fellas, how are we doing? What are your thoughts? I can't believe what I saw last night.
Yeah, there's no better feeling, man. No better feeling. I can't believe it. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable feeling to see another championship in Dallas. First time for the Rangers, and uh, it's pretty crazy to think that every single time I'm gonna replay that moment of seeing the Rangers finally win the World Series, it's gonna be Josh Sborz on the mound.
Who would have thought, bro? Come on, man.
Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
It's crazy. What about you, Courtney?
Yeah, I was at work, and so I'm like, kind of like, I ain't gonna lie, talking confused. I was on my phone, bro, and I was looking like, just at the game, and I said, okay, it's a nice ending. Like, I gotta watch, like, cause I saw we was like, we were for sure gonna win. So I put on my phone, and I see Josh Sborz on the mound. I'm like, what has happened this game? I was so confused. And then we won, and I was like, bro, like, man, I had to go to the bathroom, bro. Like, to hide my excitement. Like, I had to really, like, watch that moment, bro. Like, that was
Unbelievable.
what, like, DFW deserved that for sure. I'm so happy for the city, bro.
You know, I try telling people like the Metro is different when the Rangers are good. People don't
Man,
understand.
what,
We're
bro?
just not often good, but when we are good, you can see the loyal fans come out. And boy, have there been some loyal fans over the years that stuck through some really dark days. I mean, losing, getting blown out over and over again by better teams. But it seems that we have the best team standing, and it stands that way in the 2023 season. I knew this team would be good. I knew they would have a chance to contend, but to be taken this far doesn't feel real still. But you can't give up hope when you have guys like Corey Seager in your lineup and then Bruce Bochy calling the shots. So what a season for the Texas Rangers. Let's go ahead and break this game down. It would be Zach Gallen versus Nathan Eovaldi. Zach Gallen last time around gave up 3 earned runs in about 5 innings pitched in game 1. Opened the World Series in Arlington. Also went against Eovaldi that same game 1. Eovaldi kind of struggled to give up 4 runs in that ball game. But what are your thoughts so far in the pitching matchup, TJ? I'll start with you in this clinching game 5.
I mean, I'm very impressed with Nathan Eovaldi. I thought Nathan Eovaldi was going to have kind of just, I don't know if he kind of ran out of gas. I thought the game 1 World Series game was just kind of like, he's pitched 26 innings so far. The Diamondbacks haven't pitched any pitcher more than like 22 innings, and that would have been Zach Gallen. And, so you're starting to see that him and Jordan Montgomery were just trying to get overworked. And so I was really impressed with that outing. I thought we could have had a chance of dead arm maybe. Eovaldi was not going to be that good. He wasn't going to be that accurate. His pitches were going to be slower. But that wasn't the case at all. I mean, he dominated. You talking about the first 3-4 innings he was out there. They had runners in scoring position, and he got them out every single time. Every single time. I mean, it's crazy to think that. I mean, you think about Evan Carter's sliding catch. You think about, just about the bunt defense. Always making sure to at least get the runner out at first. I mean, that's some stuff that, game 2 we weren't doing. They were still getting bunt singles in game 2 and stuff. We didn't allow bunt singles. At least, they were getting the bunts, the sacrifice bunts, but they weren't getting bunt singles. So, love the defensive adjustment. The defense was amazing as well. Seager had some nice plays at short, especially throughout the whole World Series. So, Sorry, gotta take a little sip of water, man. Uh, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I really like that Zach Gallen is a beast, man, and you can say what you want about his postseason, but this guy's a Cy Young finalist for a couple years now, and um, to finally break open with the pitching was pretty good. Zach Allen, what was it, a no hitter for the first 6 innings?
Oh, it was a perfect game for like the first 5, I believe, and then no hitter broken up in the top of the 7th.
He walked low, man. He walked
Oh,
low.
oh
I think
my god.
Seager the first. No, I can't
Yeah, no,
remember
no,
the
Seager
first.
was because he hit it in the top
Yeah,
of the 7th. It was like it was that little hit off the end of the bat
yeah,
near
yeah.
third base. Crazy. Yeah.
Man,
What are your thoughts on
should have had
pitching,
the
Courtney?
shift.
If you saw any of it, I
Yeah,
know you were working.
yeah, but I did see the highlights, of course, and I mean, I was like watching like a little bit of the game here and there. Like TJ said, Evaldi was really saving that team a lot more. Like those when he came into those positions where he was having to get those runners out, when he had runners on bases, he was just coming through every time and time again. And when TJ at the start of this Rangers playoff run, when uh, he was talking about Big Game Nate, I was like, okay, let me see what Big Game Nate is for real. Like, I ain't believe. At least he was Big Game Nate. I mean, he's been Big Game Nate this whole playoff run, and so that pitching for sure came through. I mean, the bullpen overall. I mean, who would ever expected what we saw this whole run? So they definitely did their thing. I thought they would die off a little bit coming into these last few stretches. And they did just a little bit, but it was enough to secure us a victory.
Yeah, going back to Zach Gallen, first of all, I mean, what a pitching performance. 6.1 innings pitched, 3 hits given up, 1 earned run, 6 Ks, 1 walk. He was dealing out there for a while, and I'm surprised they pulled him after 6.1. I didn't think they were going to take him out that early, but man, I don't know what our plate approach was for the first few innings. Like just hitting first pitch everything. He had like 28 pitches through 4. It was crazy. And he was just getting
Yeah,
us
they were
out
swinging at
easily.
everything, man.
We just could not make contact. I was like, no, not this way. We cannot go down this way. There's just no way. Always me being the pessimistic Rangers fan, thinking that we're about to blow this a 3-1 lead. But the story of the night, runners in scoring position, the Arizona Diamondbacks were 0 for 9. Nathan Eovaldi in the first 4 innings, like you said, TJ, had to face those runners in scoring position and got them out each inning. And so Nathan Eovaldi, big game Nate, lived up to that once again, going 5-0 in the postseason, pitched excellent once again in the clinching series game. And so when you look at this team, man, 40-41 on the road in the regular season, a team that has so much drop off as all of a sudden just going 11-0 in the postseason, breaking records. You will never probably see that touched ever again. I mean, unless every single series someone goes 7 games, but
I mean,
this was
11-0 on the road.
that is unbelievable, dude. Like I could not have called that in my wildest of days, bro. 11-0. This team was night and day from home and away sometimes. Night and day. And somehow able to sweep the Rays in their place, win 2 games in Baltimore, and then win all their games in Houston, and then win all their games in Arizona. I mean, just unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. 11-0. You probably won't ever see that again. The Texas Rangers, the Road Warriors, 90-72, finished with a World Series title. But let's talk about.
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know if you could say like, because we're talking about the home and away splits of the regular season. The home, I mean, we were 2-4 at home. We only had one like really, really good win at home. The other win was a comeback win that we were down almost the entire game. You're talking about these 11 away games. We were down maybe an inning and a half out of all of those 11 games. Out of all those 11 games, we were up. We got up almost every single time. The only 2 times I think I can remember was Game 2 of Baltimore, I believe, before we had that like almost, I think, 9-run third inning almost.
Yeah.
So they scored like 2 runs in the bottom of the second, went up 2-0, and then we came back and got back the lead in the top of the third. And I think Bregman hit like a first inning home run in game 6.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're looking at an inning and a half of time during these 11 road games where the Rangers were trailing. That is phenomenal. That's never happened before, and that will almost never happen again. You're looking at what a story. That's like if the Astros were to go 11-0 at home in the postseason. They couldn't even do that. They could not flip the script of their home struggles. But we could. We could do it with their away struggles. I don't get it, man. It does not make sense. I don't know how all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we know how to bat on the road. We know how to pitch on the road. That was the problem. We didn't know how to pitch on the road. Our pitching was always bad on the road.
Unreal.
So, I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Considering that is also where we lost the division. I mean, the Astros were able to come back to the division in the final week, and we thought it was over as the Royals were beating up on the Astros in Houston, but we didn't do so well. 2-4 in the final 6 road games against the LA Angels, and then the Seattle Mariners, obviously, where the blown save by Aroldis Chapman helped the Astros catch up, and then losing 3 or 4 games in Seattle. I can't believe that we hung on just by the skin of our teeth right there.
That team that lost 3 or 4 in Seattle would be right here right now, bro. I remember watching them games. I thought all hope was lost.
We were sitting there watching that one of the beatdown games. I believe was it the 3rd game? I believe it was the 3rd game of that series. Yeah.
No, it was the 2nd because the 3rd of the 4 we won. And
you're right.
We had popped the champagne bottles and then got 1 hit the next day.
We got shut down that next day. That's the game that we lost the division clinch. All we do is just win or we're in, or the Diamondbacks had to win and we won the division. Didn't either. So the Diamondbacks lost to the Astros. We lost to the Mariners in the final day. George Kirby had a ridiculous day in the mound, and we lost the division. But that game 2 days before that shutdown game, we got absolutely just hammered right there because I remember game 1, it was a 1-score game, and I believe the Aroldis blew the save, and then J.P. Crawford walked it off. The next day, we just got absolutely destroyed on the mound. We thought we just had a chance to clinch right there. We just needed 1 more. And then 3rd game, what happened to 3rd game 3? Can look it up real quick. I'm not remembering it.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure we just dominated that game.
Yeah. It wasn't like I remember they closed the roof in Seattle. I believe we won by 2-3 runs. Jonah Heim had a big single to pad the lead. Well, like I said, this team 40-41 all year. Never really great on the road. One of the worst, let me just say this, one of the worst bullpens of all time. The first team to go to the playoffs after having more blown saves than converted saves. First team with 90 wins to do that also. But the first team ever to win the World Series off having more blown saves than converted saves. You will never see probably anything like that in your lifetime again. I mean, this was the worst bullpen I've ever seen in my life. And somehow it all
Spores got the final out. That's just so crazy.
Bro, y'all didn't even talk about Spores, bro. Throughout this show, he was such a he's just such irrelevant that we even speak about Spores this whole year, bro. I feel like we barely talked about it. From my knowledge.
Yeah, what was there to talk about? His 5.66 ERA?
I mean, giving up home runs left and right. I mean, 8 home runs given up in the season.
He's always got the bubble gum or whatever, and he's always chewing on it, bro.
He looks so chill all the time.
He looks so chill until he gives up 5 extra base hits because coming off the bat at least 100 miles per hour.
Josh Spores, 10 postseason games played, 12 innings pitched, only 4 hits given up.
No way.
One run given up total. No home runs given up. 4 walks. 13 strikeouts. 13.
Wake me up, man.
That's
4
the same
hits.
one
That's like the least amount of hits he's given up in an inning in a season.
13
Or in an inning.
strikeouts. 13 strikeouts and 12 innings pitched, man, of relief. Who could have called this, bro? Are you kidding
Nobody.
me?
Oh, man.
Apparently Bochy.
Dude, it's that
I
Bochy
was
magic.
Leclerc on the mound when I tuned in, but
Yeah, I wasn't expecting them to stick with. I thought they would have given Leclerc the final 3 outs, but I wasn't mad because
I know, that's what I was hoping.
Sports got out of so many jams that we had, bro. So many. Made it look easy at times in the postseason.
Yeah, man, I'm just great. I'm grateful that we were able to win in front of. I was really happy to see some of the Air 11 members down on the field after the game too. Having Ian Kinsler, Michael Young, Adrian Beltre, of course, Adrian Beltre.
My boy, my goat.
Elvis Andrews was retired. I'm sure he would be out there too, man. I looked at my Elvis Andrews jersey in my closet last night. I almost damn near cried. I was like, how far we've come.
The most underrated storyline possibly the entire night, the Mike Maddox storyline. I've never seen a pitching coach interview after a World Series clincher in my life. I can't believe they went to him after like 2 minutes. Like, I was shocked. But it's because they knew. But Mike Maddox, the pitching coach for this season, was also the pitching coach for 2011. Probably the greatest Rangers rotation that we'll ever see. 5 rotational starters that all pitched at least 30 times in the year. And he was there front close and personal in that 2011 World Series choke. Got to see it all for himself right there next to Ron Washington in the dugout. And got to see Nelson Cruz just missing the outstretched hands of his glove and missing that 3-2 lead and choking the World Series away. But it's redemption for him tonight as well because he got to see his pitching staff finally close it out. He finally gets his first World Series title as a pitching coach. I believe ever in his entire career, actually, not just as a pitching coach. But big win for Mike Maddox. Briefly, let's talk about the World Series MVP, Corey Seager. And the money man also, Marcus Semien. What do you have to open with that so far? Tajarian Krulowitz.
Tajarian.
All
right. I don't know, man. I mean, you're talking about Corey Seager. I remember some point in August. I remember at some point I was like, I told myself, I'm like, Corey Seager's gonna have a special moment in the playoffs for the Texas Rangers. And I mean, I guess he had multiple special moments. I mean, I don't know if this series ends in 5 if Corey Seager. Obviously, it doesn't. Obviously, it ends in at least 6. But I mean, if Corey Seager doesn't get that home run in the bottom of the 9th, I think that got me more hyped than Garcia's walk-off home run just because of the fact that it was just like, all right, we back in it. One swing of the bat, we back in it, just like that. But, I mean, to see Marcus Semien just improve over the series is something that, I mean, is probably the greatest thing of this, greatest development of the World Series. Not even the 11-0 on the road, not even Josh Sborz. Marcus Semien getting his swing back is an amazing storyline. The last 2 games, getting 2 home runs. I think they said he was like 6 for 12 in the last 3 games. I mean, it was just so bad watching him pop up every single at bat during the ALCS, during the first 3 games of the series, or during the first 2, during the ALDS. I mean, he was just popping up. He would never adjust. He would always. He just wants to pull the ball. He can never push the ball. They're putting it outside, and he was going under it. And I don't know, just to see him because that pitch last night, the put the end the game in the top of the 9th. I mean, that pitch was outside. Marcus Semien, he gets most of his hits from the inside and the low inside of the strike zone. Being outside, I mean, that's probably lower than 200 batting average where that pitch was with Marcus Semien, and he blasted that. I mean, I knew that was gone right off the bat. So, I mean, I'm just really happy that he was able to make that adjustment before the series ended because he deserves this. He's the guy who works the hardest. He's the veteran of the team. He's the leader of the team, the leadoff hitter. Obviously, he's going to be the leader of the team. I mean, I'm just so happy to see him come back and get those last moments, be the person that in the game for the Rangers. What a feeling. I like, I'm just so proud of him because I was really angry at him. I was really angry at him all postseason,
all them
man.
pop-ups, all them pop-ups.
So pissed off about him. And to see, just to see that, so proud of him.
Yeah, I mean, Marcus Simeon, this whole playoff run, I mean, disappointing. I mean, I was yesterday on Twitter, or last night, I was looking at like old tweets, and I saw the tweet of how he signed Marcus Simeon, and people are like, "Oh my God, look
With
how
them
much money that
replies.
they're wasting." Oh my, they were cooking Marcus Simeon. I ain't gonna lie, it's like, what a waste of a player. He's not gonna do anything. And I was like, I feel so happy for the man. Like, he really. Signs to hate him. He did what he needed to do in the moment where he needed to do it. And I think the day later in 2021, we signed Corey Seager, which, I mean, he's the best shortstop in baseball. I mean, there's really no question about it. I mean, really, he should have won it. He should win MVP, but unfortunately, they won't give it to him. But, I mean, there's not really much to talk about. He pretty much is the offense. I mean, he saved our season. That home run that you're talking about, TJ, that snap on that bat, I've never seen anything like it, bro. I was
Unreal.
raw, bro. Just
Bro, lefties hitting home runs are so nice. But then when it's like Corey Seager, when they got that swing, oh my
like
goodness,
that swing
man.
is so beautiful.
I've never heard a Rangers crowd that loud ever.
Like that's just. I mean, it's just what. Like he had big moments after big moment after big moment after big moment, and I mean he delivered, and it makes you really wonder why the Dodgers got rid of him in the first place. I mean, or why he left the Dodgers, or why why they didn't want to re-sign him. I mean, I know he wanted to play for Texas, but it's just thank you, Dodgers. I mean, that's all I already say. I mean,
hey, next generation of kids, whenever they look up loudest moments. Most clutch moments of playoff baseball history.
It's always gonna be there.
The Rangers gonna be there finally.
Man, my kids gonna grow up seeing the Rangers actually being successful constantly, a winning tradition. Imagine that, bro. Imagine.
I know, man.
And
that was another thing, man.
My parents' generation, bro, they probably think I'm spoiled now, seeing like all this winning because I've seen now 3 pennants now with the Rangers, and we finally win a World Series in my first 20 years of life. I mean, for the OGs, I love this for the OGs because I thought I've seen some bad baseball, but you see them Rangers teams in the late 60s and the 70s, bro? Oh, my gosh. Some bad baseball.
Bad baseball.
Awful
real bad baseball. A lot of steroid use and not a lot of results.
They wasn't using steroids, right?
Didn't make playoffs until 35 years of the franchise. Didn't make the World Series until 50 years of the franchise.
That's
but
insane.
Going back to Marcus Simeon, signing him from the Toronto Blue Jays, it was a contract year for him. He was trying to look for a new contract. Was signed with the Blue Jays in 2021. 162 games played in that season. Broke the record for second base homers with 45. But Marcus Simeon, we signed him. I remember getting a text from a friend that we signed him. I was shocked. I was like, I didn't even know we were in contention for him. But he showed his value once again these past 2 games and showing his warrior mentality. 179 games this Texas Rangers squad played in the 2023 season. He played in every single one of them. Every single one.
Yeah, he got first in all-time plate appearances for an entire season too, right?
I believe so. If not, he got second by 1.
Got real close, yeah.
I believe one guy had 180, not 180.
It was 833, right?
Yeah, 830, something like that.
Yeah.
But I know he missed the game mark by 1, I believe. 179. A guy had 180. But dude, the amount of times, the amount of games we saw Seager be out for injury, or Jonah Heim on the IL, or Young on the IL, or someone in the pitching staff getting out for the season, and Marcus Simeon was still out there at second base every single day. It means a lot. It means a lot when one of your money men is still out there trying to perform on a daily basis, trying to lead the team in the right direction because he never went out a single time. Truly remarkable. So his season, 162 games, 276 batting average, 29 home runs, 100 RBIs. I think he set fourth all time for RBIs as a leadoff hitter. Hit leadoff the entire season, and also a big comeback from last season, considering that a lot of people thought he wasn't worth the money after that opening 2022 season. He started off really slow, if you remember, TJ. Very slow in 2022.
Very
People thought
slow.
that it was thought it was a very fraudulent contract, and so he made up for it rather quickly. But what more can be said about Corey Seager? I mean, this man was simply built for the postseason. He could have been MVP this year if it was not for Shohei Ohtani. He's probably not going to get the MVP. He'll be second. But, man, this guy simply built for the postseason. We won this series in game 1 because of that right there. We would be down. But Paul Sewald, we had his number early, the former Mariner. We just broke him down, simply. We broke him down. He was amazing. It was amazing the entire postseason, but he just didn't have it in the World Series. Just did not have it. Corey Seager, World Series MVP, hero in Game 1, hero in the game clincher. In the season, he had a 327 batting average, 33 homers in 119 games, 96 RBIs.
First to win MVP in both the AL and the NL.
Yep.
Within 5 years, too, or 2020 to 2023.
Second position player to ever win 2 World Series MVPs.
And let me give a quick shout out to a couple players too. Just thinking about all the couple players that maybe weren't the star players, maybe weren't the money men. I want to talk about Ezekiel Duran and his impact of when Seager was hurt and him going out there. It kind of hurts me that we weren't able to give him at least one World Series at bat, especially when we're blowing them out. I was kind of hoping that we were able to at least give him one. I don't know if he was on the active roster, but man, that was an exciting time. He was killing the ball. He was batting like 330. I remember Seager got hurt. He was having a dominant year, and Duran comes in and damn near hits almost the exact same statistics, like 330, multiple home runs. I mean, that was just that was an amazing step up. I know he got cold at the end. I love Jankowski, man. What a story. Come back, get in the lineup for Game 4 and go. Get that base hit with the bases loaded. I really want to talk about Mitch Garver, though. Mitch Garver, for me, was a guy who really stepped up in almost every single situation. Of course, not every one of them. He's not superhuman. But, I mean, that guy's slow. That guy's super slow, very small. I mean, I'm thinking of a lot of these moments. I mean, he had the grand slam in Game 2 against Baltimore. He had the bases loaded RBI double against Baltimore in Game 3. He had that Game 7 home run to tie it up, I believe, and he had the RBI single to make it 1-0 in the Game 7 or Game 5. Sorry, Game 5 of the World Series. So I mean, this guy stepped up when he really needed to. He didn't have a really outstanding playoffs, but when you look at some of the biggest moments of these playoffs, he's the guy in the box. So I mean, I gotta give it to him. He's always been a guy who's struggled with injuries, and to see him be healthy for this whole entire playoff run, go out there and contribute. I'm happy for him too, because I always liked him right when he came into the team last year, because this is only second year on the team, but him coming in last year, I loved him. He was some guy who was like, yeah, man, this is a catcher that we can have for a little while, get some good pop, he's got some good power. So I like seeing the vision of Chris Young trade for him a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. Trying to get that catcher, getting rid of Isaiah Connor-Falefa, and seeing it fully come through. Just crazy.
Yeah, but going back to Garver, started the year off very banged up. Wasn't here for the majority of the season. But
another injury.
Talking about unsung heroes, like you said, Travis Jankowski, man. I mean, 100 contact hitter on MLB The Show, apparently. But no, I'm just joking. But he was amazing the entire regular season. I know the numbers are not dazzling, but his exit velo is also not amazing. But when you just put the ball in play, it's amazing what happens. The game 4 will definitely be known as the Travis Jankowski game from now on. I mean, 2 for 4, I believe. Had 2 RBIs. Had the diving catch where he almost ran into Simeon. What a game from him. But let's not forget also about the unsung hero, about Josh Smith. Defensively speaking, I mean, the thing he had to fill in alongside Ezekiel Duran with injuries to Corey Seager as well. And Josh Young, he was all around the field, even in the outfield sometimes for this defense. And seeing him also pinch run, he definitely deserved to get some playing time. But Josh Smith definitely deserves some recognition in this year. But I'd be remiss if I did not mention El Bombi. I wish he could have gotten final minutes in this World Series, but like Nathaniel Lowe said, his back hurt too much from carrying us all the way over here. So Adolis Garcia, Courtney, what a series he had. What a postseason he had in general.
I mean, he's forever cemented in DFW history. I mean, his legacy is forever cemented. He's good anywhere in DFW. You can go Frisco, you can go Arlington, you can go to Pawnee, Plano. Don't matter. Like he's good. Like I mean, the amount of records that this team, or the first time ever that we've seen from the Rangers team in general, is just insane. And we saw it from Garcia as well. I don't remember the exact number. It was like 13 or 14. So RBI or something like that. I think what it was, but he showed up when I want him to have at least one hit in the last game. But I mean, you saw as soon as we won, he was like one of the first people out there on the pitch. I mean, especially what he went through, the amount that he went to even get to his spot. I mean, pretty much just left for dust. And I mean, we picked him up for like cash considerations. I mean, to see where he is now and to see that he did what he did for this Rangers team when not a lot of people are stepping up. I mean, that game 1, that game 1 winner is gonna be on those YouTube compilations of clutchest moments in baseball history. So I mean, he's special.
They got some new clips, bro.
Yeah, they got some new clips from the Rangers finally. And even when we were down out, one of the games that I remember as like one of my first years watching like baseball, like for real, is that that game winner that he had later in the season against I believe the Twins.
Twins.
Yeah, the Twins. Twins game winner. And that really brought energy to the Rangers team that I think we need to finish out the rest of the season. So I mean, he's just been there every time that we need him, and that's the play that should be on your team to make a run that the Rangers made just now.
Garcia was 0 for 4 that night as well with 4 strikeouts. And that's why you saw that emotion on his 5th at bat right there, hitting the walk-off home run against a Twins team that the team struggled with as a whole. But the final line for Adolis Garcia, 323 batting average, 382 on-base percentage, 726 slugging, a record 22 RBIs in 15 postseason games.
Is that 60% increase, or that 60 increase in the batting average to the on-base percentage? That's all got to be hit by pitches. That man never walks.
Never.
It's got to be all hit by pitches.
I think he had 1 or 2 walks. It was definitely not like 3.
I remember him definitely getting a walk, but that guy never gets walks.
He got his first walk, I think, in the World Series. I could be wrong, but I believe it was in the World Series. It was crazy. Yeah. That man goes after everything. I mean, it makes sense that his back got a little bit like banged up, right? I guess he swings for the fences every time. He puts everything into his every at bat he has. So he definitely stepped up when we needed him the most, and it means a lot for Adolis Garcia too in this fan base because he was the bright spot for this franchise when we had nothing to look forward to. I mean, you saw when we signed him as a very old rookie, I guess you could say the age of 27, that this team didn't have much to be excited about in terms of pitching, in terms of the lineup. When we had a very slow offense, he was the bright spot that gave us some hope. He was like the light in the tunnel, saying that basically that he could possibly be a key spot in a potential playoff team. I didn't think he'd honestly stay around this time. believe it or not, I really didn't think he would. But after he won that Rookie of the Year, what a season he had. And actually, he didn't win the Rookie of the Year, believe it or not. He actually fell short, I believe. But what a season he has so far. Definitely has to come back. Obviously starting his professional career in the Yomiuri Giants in the NPP. Eventually get dropped off by the Cardinals, getting picked up for cash considerations, like you said, Courtney. What a season he's had. But let's talk about Bruce Bochy a little bit. Touched on him last week. Immediate impact. We heard Chris Young saying that he called him on his couch in Nashville, just messing around with his grandkids. And Bochy saying that he basically felt the need to want to come back. He was coaching Team France. And so he's of French descent, I believe. And so he was coaching Team France, was born there in France as his dad was stationed there in the military. And so when he was there, he was feeling a little bit reminiscent of what the baseball manager felt like in the dugout. And so seeing Bruce Bochy having this immediate impact, that's 4 rings now for Bruce Bochy. 3 with the San Francisco Giants and 1 now with the Texas Rangers. Only 1 playoff loss in his entire career. That's to the 1998 Yankees. 1 playoff series loss. So what do you have to say about that, TJ?
Crazy.
Hey, he beat out Bumgarner. He wouldn't let his former pitcher get 4 rings over him. But I mean, it's incredible. I mean, this is, again, there's so many things to the storyline of the Rangers where you look at it and it's like, man, how does this happen? You know, this is such Cinderella type story for a franchise that's never had anything like this happen to them in 50 years. And you can count 60 years if you want to count the Washington saga in the 60s. So, I mean, it's just incredible to have this guy come in first season and do this with the resources he had. I mean, he had one of the best offenses in MLB history, but you had one of the worst bullpens in MLB history. And so to see him just kind of work that dynamic, you know, he might have lost us a few games in the regular season trying to stick what bullpen arm could really help him out in the postseason. He was looking at Grant Anderson, that didn't work out. He was looking at Alex Spiess, that didn't work out. He was looking at Josh Sproles, that didn't work out, but I guess it somehow did because that's the guy he picked, and it ended up working out just fine. So, I mean, you know, I would have never expected Sproles to do that in the postseason, and that's got to be part of Bochy putting that trust in him, and then, you know, having the knowledge to know when to put him in the type of situations. So, I mean, hats off. I don't have a hat, but hats off to Bochy for, you know, just really finding who could shine in the bullpen in such a dark bullpen. You know, who could shine in it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, like I was telling Joe this like last week. I thought that managing, like baseball managers, are like the most like useless, like I guess coach role. Like that's what I thought. Bruce Bochy definitely changed my mind, though. I mean, this team had no business. Like we said, this team really had no business, especially with that bullpen doing what they did this postseason. And I mean, a lot of that credit, obviously the players stepped up, but Bruce Bochy kind of played things perfectly the way that things should have been played. And I mean, throughout the season, he was kind of testing his limits a little bit. I mean, I'm in good faith. We're going to hope that that's why we got to where we are today, because he kind of understood the formula more and more as we went on throughout the season. But I mean, Bruce Bochy, I mean, 4 rings. I mean, and I'm pretty sure all 4 of those teams I don't think none of those teams are favorites to win the World Series. So, I mean, it's a testament to what he can do as a manager. And I don't know how they got him out of retirement. Joe, you probably know more than me, but I mean, they goodness they got him out of retirement, because I don't think there would have been another manager that could have won with this team with that bullpen that we had. So, I mean, he's old. I don't know how old. I don't know how long managers stay, but
he'd be limping to take the pitcher out, man.
Yeah,
I swear
he had a rough walk.
That old man limp.
That poor surgery, man. It's been killing him. But 68 years old. If he walked away and said, "You know what? I'm done," man, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining, man. It's been a long time watching this team. He won us a ring. If you walk away, I am completely fine. I don't think there's any other manager who could have led this team like he did. You look at this roster. You look at this roster. I mean, it's not that much different from last year. If we're being honest, you add Nathan Eovaldi, Jacob deGrom. Obviously, he was starting, but he got hurt like so quickly. Max Scherzer came in, but he was very sporadic at times. Jordan Montgomery was a key piece, but overall, I mean, this roster not that much different from last year.
Yeah.
Last year, this team was 68-94. 68-94. Didn't even get close to sniffing the playoffs. And he not only clinches a wild card spot by just narrowly missing the division title, but eventually wins the World Series. Bruce Bochy, take a bow. We can erect a statue, like I said last week. Erect a statue of Bruce Bochy. Put him in the Rangers Hall of Fame for all I care. I mean, my goodness.
I know we won the World Series, bro. Like, hold on, man. We can build
Oh,
one.
that was getting crazy.
Build one, bro.
That parade's about to go crazy, bro. I can't believe I'm not gonna be able to make it, but
I'm gonna skip class on Friday.
You gonna go?
Oh yeah, I gotta go.
Oh yeah, got to, bro.
Probably gonna use it on my final. You know, probably get some. I don't know. I got like a feature story. You know.
Oh, perfect.
Just
perfect.
imagine. Just imagine. Get a couple interviews from fans. Telling people I've been fans for 85 years and this is the best moment of my life. I don't know. You can just open it up, just be like, the sun was shining. I don't know. You know, just be like, it's the dawn of the first parade for the Rangers ever. I don't know. You know, it's a perfect feature story.
But man, like, I can't help but feel, again, like I said, for the OGs, like you were talking about right there, guys like Tom Grieve, Mr. Ranger, who called so many Rangers games in our childhood. And then Tom Grieve, our PA man, Chuck Morgan, you hear him every single Rangers game. He does not miss a single Rangers game. Elvis, Andrews, or Adrian Beltre.
It's baseball time in Texas.
Bro, he has seen literally every single Rangers game, bro.
Yeah, and I felt bad because, in 2020 when they had the bubble, not really the bubble, but when they had the playoffs in Globe Life Field, they had Chuck Morgan be the PA announcer for those games when there's barely anyone in the stadium, Rays and Dodgers. And it's like, man, that's torture for that guy. He's seen a couple World Series, but he hasn't ever seen his team win a World Series. Now he's got to do one for two teams he doesn't know. I don't know.
And then finally, Eric Nadel. I mean, y'all gotta find that Rangers radio call of him clinching the World Series title, the World Series clinching call. He has been the radio announcer for the Texas Rangers since 1979. Longest tenure radio announcer in the MLB. Ford C. Frick Award-winning Hall of Fame radio announcer, the highest award bestowed to a broadcaster in baseball for the Baseball Hall of Fame.
They should erect a statue of him too.
He could definitely have one, man. He's had a interesting past year or two. He's had some mental health struggles, gone through some anxiety, insomnia. It's been a long road for him getting back this season. And to see where he's come from, this dude Courtney, bro.
You start talking about mental health, I started feeling bad, bro. I mean,
that's the verb you use. But yeah, Eric Nadel, man, I almost teared up listening to that clinching call. The games he has seen. I mean, he's covered almost every game, dude. And to hear him finally say, you are not dreaming, Rangers fans. The Rangers are World Series champions. Doesn't get better than that. But let's head to a rapid fire. Hold on.
Before y'all talk about that, I just have a quick question because I understand it. So, it's Josh Jung his rookie year, right?
Still technically, yes.
Evan Carter is technically not a rookie.
He'll be a rookie again, I believe, come next season because you have to have a certain amount of games.
Okay, games.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
appearances.
So
So
he's
technically,
he's
he
gonna
can
come
win
into
Rookie of the
rookie
Year.
next year.
He can be Rookie of the Year next year. Yeah, it's weird in baseball. That's just how it works. So and to rapid fire, as we all saw, the Dallas Cowboys were able to beat up on the LA Rams. Deron Blank is his third pick six of the season. Has as many touchdowns as Devontae Adams, as many other high profile receivers. But now the Cowboys are heading to face the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, division rival. A good chance to gain some ground on the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC East. How did the Cowboys win this key matchup on Sunday? TJ?
Well, it's gonna come down to Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's done pretty good against the Eagles in his career. But I mean, what 1-1 last year? I don't know. That was Cooper Rush last year, though, right?
Yeah,
Played
in
in
Philadelphia.
Philly. Played in Philly. So I mean, you're looking at Dak, who's had a pretty good record against Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts, he's done pretty good against us, I guess. He's struggled against us before he got really good, but since he's gotten really good, he's done pretty good against us, I guess. So I mean, I really want to see Dak Prescott have a good game. This is going to be a fun little narrative game because we're talking about Jalen Hurts, who has 8 picks already almost,
Narrative
maybe
game.
more. And then you got Dak Prescott with 2 on the season? No, it's not 2, it's 4 because he had 3 against San Francisco. But I mean, it's just everybody expects Dak to be the turnover machine, the guy who throws all the picks. Man, Jalen Hurts is that guy, and it's gonna be interesting when you look at
defending's going on, man.
And he's the guy who's turning the ball over. He's fumbling a lot too. And I mean, the Cowboys, their defense, man, that's what gets them wins, man, is turnovers. And so if they can get the turnovers on Philadelphia, man, this could be a winnable game.
I mean, this Eagles team has been on the ropes the past couple of weeks. I mean, we all knew that the Eagles would have been on that tough run starting against. I mean, we didn't expect it to start against the Jets, but I mean, that's when we really saw cracks into this Eagles squad. The Dolphins game was closer than the score looked, and even this Washington game, there was a time where they kept it close. Washington kept it close against this Eagles team. That's a team that just sold all their players at the deadline. They had no reason to even be in that game. They obviously want to tank. So, this Eagles team definitely has some holes. Honestly, the key to this game is you got to stop A.J. Brown. I mean, the Cowboys can't let him have 7 games straight. Surely not of 125 yards. I mean, surely he's got to stop somewhere.
Of course not.
Of course not. I mean, of course, Deron Bland could get worked on for 125 plus yards. I mean, or Stephon Gilmore, I don't know who's going to be on him, but I mean, he's been on a tear. I think that Dallas secondary definitely got to do some extra preparation for that. I mean, it's been ever since he complained against because Jalen Hurts at one time he's just been getting fed the ball. And I mean, if Dak plays like he did last week, and they decide that they actually want to, give their number one receiver the ball, they pay him to give, they pay you to give him the ball, CeeDee Lamb's gonna show that he could be just as good as AJ Brown, and I think he showed that last week against the Rams. I think he could show that again this week because I don't think the Eagles can really stop him like that. So I think really the big key to this game is how the receivers are going to show up. Brandon Cooks had a decent stretch of a couple games as well. And so I think that if the receivers show up against the Cowboys and they actually get fed the ball, then I think the Cowboys can win.
Yeah, kind of capitalizing off of that. I think the story is just how this defense plays against Jalen Hurts because I trust this offense because Dak plays usually really well against this Eagles defense. So Hurts has never beaten the Cowboys against a Dak-led Cowboys team. As of now, still, he hasn't done it yet. I trust that our defense can stop or at least limit. They're not going to stop this offense. They can at least limit the Hurts and Brown connection, I believe. But I trust the story's going to be about Dak and the offense going against this Eagles defense that I believe is a little so-so in the first 3 quarters. They wake up in the fourth quarter once pressure starts getting a little bit hot. But I trust that Dak can at least handle the ball, at least protect it for the first 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, I think that's where we can take off. I think we win this game possibly by 3 to 6 points. I think it'll be a very close game. Philadelphia is a hard place to play, as we all know. I'm glad we don't end the season here, because usually it feels like we do end the season there. Not last year, but it feels like that sometimes we'll end the season there. But good for the divisional race that we're getting this first game out the way, and that we can gain some ground early instead of having these games so late in the season. But gonna go ahead and wrap up this show. What an episode it was. What a week for DFW sports in general. As of Thursday morning, Stars 5-1-1 in the NHL. Dallas Mavericks 4-0. Still have not been beaten in the NBA. First in the West as of Thursday morning.
What?
Just beating the Chicago Bulls last night in the American Airlines Center. And then, of course, the Cowboys playing on Sunday. Great chance to improve their divisional hopes and playoff hopes. But, of course, the World Series champion Texas Rangers winning last night.
I'm gonna
Wednesday
miss
night.
about the Rangers, bro. I'm gonna miss it.
Oh, my God.
I am going to miss them, man. My dad
Dude,
called me
it's
last
really
night. He was like, hey, you've seen the Rangers, man. Now you can hope that the Mavs and Stars can do it too this year. And if you think about the Cowboys, man, that's just unrealistic.
I might be insufferable. I might be insufferable. I was annoying enough when the Rangers won, but man, I might be actually insufferable if the Cowboys win, bro. Oh my God.
The world's gonna stop turning if the Cowboys ever win, man. It's crazy, bro. The world will actually stop turning.
All right, so episode 11, 2-4 Sports Show. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Please subscribe to our YouTube and Spotify pages where we also post our podcasts. That is at 214 Sports Show for all of those. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Spotify at 214 Sports Show. You can follow me at Joseph_Duffy99 on Instagram and Twitter. Again, that is at Joseph_Duffy99 on Instagram and Twitter. What about you, TJ? And then we'll wrap up with Courtney.
You can follow me on TJ.Krillowitz on Instagram, TJ_Krillowitz on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, on X you can follow me at C_Machani. And on Instagram, you can follow. Hey, the Rangers won, so you know he definitely living the life for real. You can follow me at Instagram at C Lives a Life. That's the name. So that's follow me. We've been living the life now. Rangers is world champs. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Texas Rangers 2023 World Series champs. That's episode 11 in the books of the 214 Sports Show. What can I complain about now besides the Cowboys? What can I do now for the rest of this year?
Yeah, the Cowboys are enough.
It's unbelievable. I guess Cowboy slander will suffice for now. Maybe the Mavs will take their place and the Stars can take their place somewhat. But that's it for us here. Joseph Duffy, Courtney Machani, TJ Krillowitz, and the 214 Sports Show. Thank you for listening and watching. Please come back and listen again. See ya.